At the height of summer, don't let your yard get away from you.
It's super easy to ignore, especially those spots that you can't see. You know what I'm talking about?
I tell you who does know what you're talking about is Manscaped.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an opportunity for you to take home the Lawnmower 3.0.
This thing is amazing. And I have never used this before. We have them in the office, and I know for a fact I can't bring one back. I will not.
Oh, thank God you
No,
didn't use
I
it
need
here.
to get one of these. These are absolutely, I haven't used it here. These things are incredible.
It comes with a complete setup. I mean, it's not just the Lawnmower 3.0.
Which I love the name.
Right? It has a complete setup of accoutrements that go along with it. And ladies, they don't discriminate.
No, they don't.
So, yes, absolutely. This works just as well for women as it does for men. There are some products that are in the bag that you might want to regift.
But whatever.
But whatever. The main one you're going to want to keep.
And what else is cool, as part of this prize pack they're going to be signing up for, Pat and JT, some of our show swag, a hat, got a coffee mug, some stickers.
Yeah.
And this is stuff that I don't even have this stuff. This is
I
like
know.
all new stuff as of a couple of weeks ago. I don't
Totally
even have
new.
this stuff yet.
Totally brand new, hot off the presses.
Yes.
So the link is in the show notes. Also Twitter, Facebook. Go to the link, fill out the information, hit send, enter the giveaway, and then we'll let you know, because we've got a box full of these things that we're going to be giving away, and we would love to help you take care of the lawn this summer.
Yes. We can't help you with a lot of things, but this we can help you with. So go there and get signed up for that perfect summer lawn.
Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
It's Pat and JT on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, or 402-403-9478. That's our phone number. That's a phone number,
what it
an
is.
American phone number.
There you go.
If you're out of the country, just put a 1, or is it 01? Is that our country code, 01? Or is it
No,
just,
that's not our country code. I don't know.
our country
Pat.
code's 1.
I don't know. Text us. I don't know. Email us.
Just, hey at patandjt.com. You don't have to
DM
put
us
anything.
on Facebook.
All that stuff. Just
that
get
good
a hold of us. Drive to our office.
There you go. So Rhianna Amazing with us today.
Hello.
And it's
Hey,
been a
Rhianna.
while.
It has been a while.
How you been?
I've been good. I've
Been busy?
I've been busy. I I don't work a lot in the summer. That sounds weird. I have my kids 50% of the time, and it's not worth it financially to get daycare. So if I have them, I'm not working. But then when I am working, I'm working really long days. So I'm trying to get everything I can in and see as many people as I can. And I was sold out. July was sold out in like mid-June. And
Wow.
it's a blessing. It's such a blessing. And I'm so honored and grateful to do this. But it's been a little crazy. So
It has
yeah.
been. Are you seeing more
back.
and more people seeking you out? Have you seen people that you didn't expect, or people saying things to you like, I never thought I'd call somebody like you, or I've been
So-
thinking about this and I'm curious, or
Yes, it's increasing, and I think
Yeah.
all of my peers are busier too, and which is amazing. But a lot of people are contacting me via email and just asking questions and like, this is what I'm working on. Where do I even start? And a lot of them are brand new to energy healing, and they are like with everything else right now. People are just starting to realize that not everything is as it seems, or that we've been told, and so they're seeking out. Yeah, wanting to release the past and let go and,
Right.
and truly activate their full potential. And I'm seeing people, and this is huge for your listeners, because you guys have created, this platform has created people to come see me that had never tried it before. And they often will just do one session and done. And they think like, that's it. And I just would love to really encourage people to do more, because it's very much an onion layer.
yeah,
We're digging at like all of the lifetimes and all the experiences, even in this lifetime, all the beliefs, all the programmings, all the indoctrination.
Do you think that for some people it's scary that first time? Because I know the first time I ever talked to somebody who could kind of peel the layers, it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we'll come back and visit this in about 5 years.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure it does freak them out. And especially if they're not ready to really deal with all the things that is being presented that they need to work on. I get it. So I'm here whenever, but
Yeah.
I just really see people now ready, even more so, to really dig at all the layers, because they are just so sick of it. They're over it. Like,
Conventional means
let's be done with this.
aren't giving them the satisfaction, right? You know Josh Hurd? He does movies, paranormal. He does some other thing. He just did a movie. Oh God, Intelligent Design.
Intelligent Design. I think
Intelligent
is what it's
Design.
called.
He did a movie, and he did it with Elizabeth Saint's network. It's called Cosm.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's QOSM. I've talked about it like 3 or 4 times since he's been on here because I find it fascinating. There's some really interesting stuff on there, and
It used to be called VidiSpace. I don't know if you're ever familiar with VidiSpace.
and it's everything from paranormal to, just it runs the gamut. And anyway, he did a video, and his video was all about frequency
That's awesome.
and how he is, and even as open-minded, and he's kind of like a ghost hunter, if you will, but he dives into some of the stories and regions, and he's come across some paranormal activity. He has Malvern Manor, which is haunted, right? And just go out. Oh
No.
Yeah,
I
couldn't
mean,
hear
it
you
did.
for a
Yes.
minute.
I'm not saying it didn't,
Okay.
but I know it happened.
Okay, good. That's
You're
our
over there
producer.
clicking buttons. What are you doing?
Just
Did you
digging
just
around.
mute me?
And moving on.
But anyway, yeah, I find it interesting that he just did this movie all about frequency. And so he's digging more into it because nothing ever leaves, right? It's like it just is transformed.
Yep.
Yes. Into,
You never die. Yeah, we
exactly.
never die.
Which I thought was kind of interesting because that's kind of the theme that we've always kind of talked about with you. And then he's just now coming in from a different direction. He's doing this. So he did this whole video about it.
That's
and it's kind of a documentary style.
And he's going to be able to reach people. So talking about ghosts, we'll plant a seed about frequency later on down for people. But what a lot of people are noticing right now is that things that used to resonate with them are not resonating any longer. So, and I've talked about this before, like a lot of people were feeling guided to quit their jobs or relationships are changing. But like even the food people are eating, things that they used to do, like even 4th of July, I had plans and like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm going to stay home. Like, I know it's 4th of July. I'm a patriot. I really want to stay at home. And I just honored that. And I was in bed and, just enjoyed my night of quiet as much as I can with fireworks going off. But
I know.
Yeah,
It was particularly
but that's
loud.
awesome.
It was very boomy.
I welcome and appreciate anybody that's going to introduce these concepts to other people because as that seed grows, it's only going to help people's lives, right? Like everything is frequency and vibration. It comes down to that. So
you're kind of validating some people because some people are probably wondering, why is it I don't like this anymore? Or I'm not drawn, or this is boring.
yeah.
Or
And
this
as
isn't,
as you vibrate higher or your shift in frequency, things are not going to resonate with you anymore. But it's really awesome to see people planting those seeds and getting people to kind of connect the dots, right? About
exactly
the things in their lives.
exactly. Yeah, I didn't do fireworks on July 4th. I stayed home also. We did stuff during the day before and the day after, and that was all great. But that night, it was so firecrackery.
It was super
It was
firecrackery.
crazy. What did you do?
Yeah. Sat in our driveway. We went down to Lincoln and during the day and sat in a pool and drank some and then went and sat in our sat in our driveway. Yeah, our neighbor passed away on 4th of July.
Oh
that
my
night. Yeah, it
goodness.
was really sad. Our neighbor across the street, his wife passed away about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, no.
And then this was the guy kind of kitty corner. Always sitting on his porch.
Yeah.
Every time we walked by, he'd wave at us. And we had never talked to him other than hey, how you doing? What's up? Blah, blah, blah. So we're sitting in the driveway. It was probably 9 o'clock, dark-ish. And we see this little old guy walking down the street. He looked like something was going on, but he walked over to our neighbor's house whose wife just passed away. And he kind of walked up to the front door and then kind of walked back, didn't knock on the door. So I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So I went over and talked to him. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Because I'd never seen him before. I'd never seen the older guy. He's like, I think my son passed away. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, he's right inside the front door. He goes,
Oh, wow.
And right when I never had seen this guy before, I didn't know. And he looked like he had been drinking. Like he looked intoxicated because he was scared. He was confused. He didn't know what was going on. And so I got on the phone with 911 and it had been a while. So the guy was beyond, you couldn't help him. And I didn't know CPR anyway, but so it's like, it wouldn't have been an issue. But it would have been a couple of hours. And so called 911 and they showed up. And apparently the situation was that the person that died, it was the son, 50-year-old son, and he had moved in with his dad who has dementia, and he was taking care of his father. So that was, yeah.
And the caregiver is
The
the one
caregiver
that
is the one
died?
that passed
Oh,
away.
no.
So, and he was and it just kept getting more dramatically sad throughout the entire night because there was no more family. So the Humane Society had to come and get the animals because there were no cousins, there was nothing, at least in the area. And then an ambulance came and took the dad away. Took him to the hospital and got him cleaned
Because he
up
had to be
and
taken care of.
he had to be taken care of. Yeah, he was with it enough to know that his son had passed away. He knew that it was his son.
Yeah.
But I think beyond that,
He was
and the
confused.
fireworks were going off. It was just a very intense.
Oh, my God.
It was very
Very
intense. Very
impressive.
sad. Yeah. So it was kind of a very weird night.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
So-
terrible.
That's
Oh
Yeah.
my
terrible.
goodness. I don't even know how to go from that.
Yeah.
To my goodness.
But it kind of ties into nothing ever ends. It just
Yeah.
keeps
It
just
Right?
keeps
changes-
going. Energy
it's
keeps
changed,
changing.
Yeah, it just changes forms.
Yeah.
So when I had the honor of helping a mom. She came to me because her teenage son had committed suicide, and she had found him in the family garage. And I cannot even imagine having kids. Like, you just can't even imagine. And this boy, I don't even think I knew his name when we went into the session, but she came because she was holding on to so much grief, right? And he presented himself to me in this session. And I don't call myself a medium because I can't sit down and on purpose channel grandma.
Flip the switch.
Yeah, I've blocked a lot of that because I just don't want to see dead people at the end of my bed. So, but he did present himself during the session, and I could talk to him and describe him to mom, and he was glowing and happy and bright. And basically he was just, and I think a lot of people are seeing this with their children and with teenagers and young adults, is this world, he was so bright and so loving, and he was either a rainbow child or a crystal child. You can Google it and figure it out. It's part of the indigo, the purpose of a soul and their mission here. But he was so bright and so loving and so angelic that this world was just way too much for him. It was way too heavy. And I totally get that, because there's days where it's like, wow, it takes everything in me to just put one foot in front of the other. And so I totally get when people are struggling right now. But I was able to provide that he is not suffering anymore. He's bright and light and white, and she actually felt his presence.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was, so they're always around, and they can always hear you, even if they're not like around, they can still hear you, right? Everything is, and that's what boggles people's mind, is that everything is connected. I know a lot of
And I don't
people
know why
talk
that
about-
boggles people. I understand it does boggle people's minds because it's kind of, but it really makes sense. If you sit and think about it, it makes sense, from the tides to the moon to somebody walking in the room and sucking the energy. It's like, everything is spelled out, just laid out in front of us, that everything is connected. So I don't know why people are fighting it so much.
Well, it's because they've been taught opposite. And so if they accept that, what else do they believe about the reality that's going to have to change, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, everything is connected, and they can hear you, and they're dropping, little signs and supporting you and encouraging you, and just, it's just, I don't know, as much crazy stuff is happening right now. There's so many good things happening too. And I just have to remember to look at that and focus on that, right? Because my role right now on this earth is, we've heard the word light worker and shadow worker and stuff like that, but I'm a bridge worker. And so the old world of 3D, that was the dimension that we're in right now, our physical bodies that are in, and we're leaving it. It's not working. Clearly it's not working. There's a lot of pain and suffering. I've said this before. I think we're actually in the upside down. We are in what the Bible describes as hell. And our job is to flip it right side up, right? And that goes by many names: heaven, Eden, 5D. It's all the same to me energetically. And so what a lot of light workers are doing right now is only focusing on 5D or New Earth or what they want to create. And I feel like I'm standing on a bridge. And they actually showed me in a meditation about 3 years ago that I had these huge wings, and I was physically picking person after person up and carrying them to New Earth. And at the time I was like, are we going to a different planet? Like, what is this? I didn't understand. It was just a different frequency that we can't see right now, but that we're all evolving into eventually. And
So
and
that's when we pass away. That's what happens. We are on a different frequency. We're still around. It's just different frequency.
Absolutely. It's just a different vibration. And if you look, I don't know the actual term that you would research, but out of all of the possible frequencies, the humans can only see like a tiny little bit of color spectrum, and right, so we're only seeing a smidgen of what truly is possible, and that's where our loved ones are. They're just in a different frequency, but in a less, I mean, it's a joyful, perfect 0 point heaven location, right? So they're not suffering. They love us, but they don't miss us because they don't miss that. You know what I mean? Like they don't miss being here in that physical body. But my role is, they told me in that meditation that I was part of the transportation team. And I was like, well, what the hell does that mean? Like, what does this actually look like? Like, am I literally growing wings? Like, what are we doing here?
Do?
And they just showed me this week that like I'm on the bridge between 3D and 5D. And the reason why so many light workers don't understand me or my role, it's because they're like, just stop focusing on that. And it's like, but there's still people over here that are still lost in the programming, the indoctrination, the spell work. They're still asleep. And if I could just plant a seed or shine a light on something and it sparks something in them, I can guide them over the bridge, right? And so I call myself a bridge worker right now because I'm standing on the bridge going, look at that and look at this and come this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot. I've never seen more people awake than they are now.
Let's throw something a little bit more conventional.
Yeah.
That's opened a lot of people's eyes, I think, to something they didn't realize was going on. Is Britney Spears. I think for a lot of people, the conservatorship was news to a lot of people because now it's hit headlines and it's not just on TMZ. And so some people are hearing this story for the first time and are in disbelief are hearing the fact that she is nearly going to be 40 years old and she's been under a conservatorship for 13 years. And her dad controls her every move and her body. Oh, not just her dad. They're like 4 other people. And now she's been released from most of them that have stepped aside, but her dad still was there, right? And hearing her story about this, I think that it's like that. There are a lot of people that keep pointing to the underside of Hollywood and child actors.
Yep.
And how few make it out alive.
Yeah.
How few, seriously, how few make it out alive.
Britney was
crazy.
abused, and so it's really, really important that Britney gets free and shares her story because it will shine a light on what all the quote unquote conspiracy theorists have been
Corey
talking about.
Hames.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
And it's important for those people to keep her quiet.
Yes. And so that's why they've all been made crazy, right? Yeah. So, and the fascinating thing to me about Britney and people's reaction right now is, so she had an IUD in her body. She couldn't have babies. They wouldn't take it out.
Which just blows me away.
She had zero control over her own
Couldn't
body,
make a doctor's
especially
appointment.
even pharmaceuticals that they're forcing on her. She didn't want to take them and she had no control. And people are beside themselves upset. How could this woman not have control over her body? How could she not have medical freedom? And I was like, okay, so if you're upset about that, are you one of the people that thinks everybody should be vaccinated?
And that's interesting.
Yeah, right.
It is interesting.
How the frickety frick does that work? Like I still get
That's a podcast title, by the way.
frickety frick does
How
that
the
work?
frickety
I
frick?
still
I'm gonna
get
type-
medical freedom over my body, right? And so it's what's happening right now for Britney is humongous for humanity because not only is she shining a light on Hollywood and what's happening and the abuse, but she's also breaking free of the old divine feminine way that women were made to show up. Our value was in being a sex kitten and
Her whole life.
everything.
I mean,
Everything.
Every picture, you look at some of the pictures she had taken over the course of her life, and now you look at her face and you can see the look in her eyes.
Yep.
She's not happy to be there.
No, and she even posted videos. Do you remember the guy that posted like 10 years ago, "Free Britney"? Like,
Yeah.
and he was really upset. I think everybody owes him an apology because
Right.
he
Leave-
was
leave
trying
Britney alone,
to tell
yeah.
people then, and she's made videos where
Yeah.
it's clear she's asking for help and nobody
How
like
does
I
she-
understood
how
and
is
I knew
she-
and I just didn't know how can I help Britney other than I continue to intend that all of the slavery in all senses fell away, right? And all of the the control mechanisms. And so her story is going to be very powerful in waking even more people up to
I want
what's
to hear
really
from,
going on.
I want to hear from her mom.
Right. Like, where's the mom?
How much control does he have in that house? Because then you go back to, now I'm gonna lose her name. Tuna fish.
Oh, Jessica
Jessica
Simpson.
Simpson.
Yeah.
God, isn't that great word association?
Yeah.
Jeez. Chicken of the sea. Her dad was another one.
Joe Simpson, Creepo
Joe
Depot.
was very similar, we're finding, to what Britney's father
But for whatever
has
reason,
accomplished.
Jessica Simpson was able to get out of it for whatever reason. Yeah.
But he was just as creepy
Oh,
talking
very
about
creepy.
his daughter. It just all, all
Like,
I
and he
have
was
a feeling though Britney was abused on a much higher level.
I think so too.
And she was like the pinnacle of. I bet stories are going to come out that she was like taken to parties and she was
I'm
like
sure.
a party favor. And
And
it's going to be
because like
bad.
Joe Simpson he wanted the fame just like Jessica had, and Jamie, her dad, he just wants the money. He just wants the money and to hide whatever has been going on. And finally, Jamie Lynn Spears, her sister, finally spoke out this past weekend. Just saying, I love my sister. It was it didn't, anything you see coming from Britney's camp or people, especially the mom, WTF, where are you?
Yeah.
It's never like, oh my God, I've got to get them fighting for her. They're never outside the courtroom. It's always, well, I just love my sister and she's just,
like,
we're just
are you
praying
guys-
for her. It's like, what, are you kidding me?
They're all
and
under the influence, or they're all scared to death.
Most likely,
Which is the same
scared to
thing,
death.
probably.
Do you think they're all like being funded? Like Britney's paying
look
for a lot
at
of their
John
lifestyle?
McAfee, for instance. I mean,
Oh,
his
yeah.
Here we
building
go.
falls down and he dies in Spain.
Crazy, right?
So,
okay, back
but
up just a second. 'Cause we haven't covered
everybody-
that before. We haven't covered that before.
Okay,
He had an
let's-
apartment in the Surfside condominiums that
Oh, I didn't know
pancaked.
that.
So he literally.
So
And he said if something...
So he literally tattooed on his body years ago, swacked, and he's been saying forever, publicly, if I die, it's because they killed me.
He posted
because
last
he
October.
was the
He
okay. So
posted
John McAfee, we're talking about McAfee Internet Security.
Mm-hmm.
He knew everything. He had a video I watched that talked about. I'm sorry, I don't even know how I brought this up, but now I can't remember how it relates
How the
back to
frickity frick?
Britney. How the frickity frick it relates back to Britney. But so I mean so he was very public about it, and he even had a video that he said he somehow got spyware onto government laptops.
Of course he did.
And he said he had everything, right? And he commented, and now some people are saying this Twitter was fake, and I don't know if it was fake and just put out there, or if they're saying it's fake because they want people to stop looking at it. But he literally said, I have everything and I stored it here
He's a dead
at
man's
this
switch.
address.
That's what he's
a
telling
dead
everybody.
man's switch, and
Dead
I
man's
have
switch.
everything stored here. And if I die, it will be activated, right?
And it was all located where? In the apartment at Surf.
Are you serious? There is no way.
You have to look
There
at
is
that's what
no.
he said.
That's
people-
what he
Y'all are
said.
crazy.
No.
That's what he said.
He said it. He said, and it's in an apartment in that building.
It was his condominium that quote unquote had a sinkhole. However, if you look at the pictures now, and they just demolitioned the other side, it falls in its own footprint, right? So it doesn't fall and kill other people.
100%.
It falls down into
just went-
its own footprint.
Okay, and I saw actually
it
there-
looks exactly like the sinkhole. But it's a demolition.
It's a demolition. Okay, not only that,
and
have
it happened 2 days after he died in a Spanish jail.
Have you seen?
Come
Just
on.
yesterday, I saw a video, and Beth and I watched it. And I even said to her, "I'm like, I haven't seen an angle of the building collapse like that. Well, obviously, since it's a collapse, and there's in part of it, you can see detonations at the very bottom. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, something's collapsing, pressure. It's flashes. There are flashes.
You do
Okay,
remember
so
that-
now take that and go rewatch all the 9/11
I was just going to
videos.
say,
Yeah.
I've
You're going
showed
to
you
see
those.
all of
I've
those
showed
buildings
that.
collapse, and you're going to see explosions shoot out a window first, all the way down, as that building is falling into its own footprint.
So yeah, okay, this is crazy.
And if I die,
This is all because of
I
Britney,
die,
right?
I did not commit suicide. I've been on
know
the
that for
record
sure.
multiple times.
How the frickity frick did we get here? But okay,
because of
But-
Britney.
So
but
John
that's what's-
McAfee had a condo.
It was because were
Yes.
they threatened? Is the family being threatened
There you go.
into silence?
So, but
of
go
course
on the-
they are,
but-
because anybody that questions
100%.
is dying.
Okay, but quick back to the John McAfee thing, because that's like totally new meat for me right now. So he had a condo in that building,
Yes.
and he had said that the stuff was stored in that
Yes.
condo.
Yes. Yes. And 2 days later, the condo has a.
He said that long
sinkhole.
ago.
Yeah.
That was long ago.
Long ago.
That he had everything.
But why would he say it's in my condo? I'm like, I got everything and it's in my condo.
Well, it's not in condo. It's not in, my apartment 304 in the Surfside, whatever. It was known that he had a condominium there.
Yeah.
That he had that. And he is in possession of all this
Wow,
other
that's
stuff that he
nuts.
had.
But
That's
he
nutty.
continued to say, I have it all. There's a dead man switch on it. And so they were just trying to take it out. And his wife even, and I think he posted while he was in the Spanish jail, he said, food here is good.
Yes.
I'm making friends. Like he was publicly saying he was fine.
I'm fine.
Right? He's fine. And even his wife spoke to him hours before
So didn't he start in the
died.
cloud? Like I have my pictures in the cloud.
I
Like, you have anything in the
cannot-
cloud?
I can't wait until
I believe
all-
so. I believe so. Just last week, Ghislaine Maxwell, the judge ordered all of her documents to be opened up. Not all of them, but a lot of the documents that had been sealed. So that's also
Are
going
they
to
all
be
redacted though?
Not
like the last.
there's some that just came out yesterday that I just found the
haven't seen them
file.
yet. Okay.
I haven't
Send it to me.
I will. I haven't been perusing it yet. But that's another one that, and another one that's out there too. You're right about the cloud. I have to believe that, yes, everything that he
It would have to,
it's
especially
not
him.
just physically stored here, but it's also got to be somewhere else digitally.
Oh, I'm sure he has multiple ways of getting
Not
this
just one
information
copy.
out.
I would hope not. I would
Right?
hope.
I
that
want to
he's-
get John Snowden's input on
my
the
God.
Mac.
Right?
Yeah, like what's So
Interesting,
basically,
yeah.
but I'm sure that the family was threatened into silence, and because I mean, you like at this point, who was the journalist that broke Bill Clinton and what's her name that had a conversation on the tarmac?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so what is her name? Anyway, okay.
Loretta.
Lynch?
Yes, I think it was
Yes.
her. So they had a secret meeting and it was against the
Yeah.
law, right? And the reporter that just broke this, look at that. He committed suicide too. Like, shut up. Nobody is buying this crap anymore. It's so obvious.
It's like you could get away with that before the internet. Okay,
Right.
But people now are keeping track.
People, you know what?
People-
Jeffrey
there are
Epstein
memes.
seriously opened up a lot of people's eyes, right? And nothing makes sense anymore. Like their stories just don't make sense.
It's so
anymore.
fantastically ridiculous. You're like,
Yes.
this can't be true.
Yeah.
But you see with Epstein, that was the whole point of that was it was used as blackmail. And I think that there are a lot of people that are higher up that they've traded. This is the trade-off. You do this and we'll give you this. And they did this in order to control you.
Yeah.
So now they have control. So once you're in that position, then if something happens to him, all these people are vulnerable. They're wondering who has the goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has the goods?
Yeah.
And so they're doing everything they can to cover their tracks to make sure this stuff doesn't get out.
But you're right. It is so fantastical, and a lot of us believe that we're watching a movie and that we're like 10 seconds. There's like a live delay reaction, right? We're actually a little bit behind the real live movie, and it's so fantastical because it has to literally shake people out of their sleep, out of the programming. And so I think that's why I continue to talk about this stuff, not to focus on it or to lower your vibration or be all doom and gloom, but it's like, look at this. And then this is what's really possible. And it's exciting to see
it is.
more people questioning this
Okay,
stuff.
look
Like
at-
I'm watching farmers in the middle of nowhere on TikTok talk about XYZ, and I'm like, yes.
But it's
Yes,
like,
they're
it's frustrating for people, like, because I'm not as awake as you guys are, and it's all this stuff's fascinating to me, and I believe every bit of it. Not every bit of it. Almost every bit of it. Not almost every bit of it. Not almost every bit of it. There's a little bit. But it's like what's frustrating to me is, for example, the McAfee thing. If he had the dead man switch, but yet nothing comes out, or like on.
Well, look at how he was painted as a crazy man.
Right? No, I get it.
Absolutely,
I totally get it.
Looney
They're all
But
crazy.
like it seems like a lot of these things. It's like we get this information and it's like, 100%. This
right
makes
there.
sense, and then nothing comes of it.
Well, but-
or like
but
Clinton, nothing comes of it, and like so it's like all these things keep happening. You're like, okay, well, you kind of start feeling like, well, maybe this. It's just not crazy, but it is conspiracy theories because nothing really like, oh my God, the dead man switch happened today at noon, and look at all this stuff we've got.
Okay, so in fairness, though, the media is in control of everything.
Very
right?
true.
And I just watched a guy. I forget his name now. I forget. Sorry. He just basically interviewed a CNN, put him on the spot, right? And this guy was shaking. And so more and more people are getting clear that the media is
Yes.
controlling
Which is a good thing
everything.
that's one of the
Yes.
most
And
important things
so-
now is that people are
so
realizing that.
If let's say Hillary Clinton has been executed, let's just say
That's one of the stories that's out there. Just so
Not
and
a
there's
shocker.
when you
and
first hear it,
there's
you're
a
like, what?
clone or
Yeah.
a mask or a robot, and before you roll your eyes, all of this
I
technology
already rolled my
exists.
eyes.
It all exists.
I rolled them at robot.
The next time I see a robot person that looks really freaking real, I'm tagging you on this page. Okay, there we go. It is the technology is there.
It's got to
Yeah.
be. That's just it. The technology is
Totally
there.
is. I
we
agree.
have AI. You're to the point where
But-
you don't even have to hire actors anymore for a movie because they can absolutely
100%.
create them.
Yeah, and a lot of
100%, right?
a lot of the trolls you see on the internet is AI too. That's not a real person
The bots.
commenting.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
yesterday.
So,
yeah, it was
so back to why you're not seeing it though. It's
Yeah.
because if they put that on the internet or they put that
Mm-hmm.
on mainstream media, it ruins everything. And the media is the last stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
It is the last controlling mechanism. And you continue to see, Right Side Broadcasting is being banned from airing on YouTube. They won't even let them stream anymore. Why? Who freaking cares what they have to say as long as it's not fire in a crowded building?
You can watch
Who cares in America
videos,
what they're saying?
right? You can watch videos on any topic.
Yeah.
Some that are
But
disgusting.
they can't stream their own
Content.
political content.
Right. It makes no sense.
And it's only because they have to control the narrative. I'm still being shadow banned. I just posted a picture and they plopped on a COVID warning and want you to research it. And the propaganda is out of control. McDonald's is putting shots on their packaging now and encouraging you to get the COVID shot through
Right.
McDonald's. It's listen, if you're going to take health advice from McDonald's, I can't save you.
Right.
It's too far gone. You're too far gone, right?
Right.
But
if that's going to be on your value meter, we need to get a vaccine. You're not
I
gonna
got
help
it.
them.
Exactly.
So the good news is it's all being exposed, one
Yeah.
chink at a time.
Yeah.
But,
This takes a
but
little
you're not
bit.
seeing the results because the mainstream media is absolutely
Did you
makes
just see?
controlling the narrative.
I'm going to bring you back around to another story then too. Bill Cosby getting out of jail, and he basically has declared war on the media because of and I'm not saying. Okay, first off, Felicia Rashad came out. I think she posted finally all in caps when he was released, and she got just bombarded. Right, she wasn't wrong. She was correct in the reason why he got out of jail was because of a technicality. The technicality was he had an agreement with the prosecutor that he would push aside his rights and testify in a civil trial where a woman was accusing him of drugging her and raping her, and he would testify in that trial if he was protected from a criminal trial. And that's why he agreed to do it. And then they turned around and took all that evidence and they prosecuted him. A different prosecutor ignored that agreement and prosecuted him. And the coverage was so heavy and the I guess really want to say the public's view was tainted, overpowering that agreement, which should have been honored, which is why he got out. So you want to be mad at somebody, probably be mad at the second prosecutor
That didn't
or
pay
actually
attention, yeah.
the first prosecutor for even making that agreement. Because guess what? Those kind of agreements where you're promised not to be prosecuted criminally if you agree to do this civilly usually are reserved for corporations. And there's only one other high profile person that's gotten that agreement before, Epstein.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
interesting.
whoa, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
on record and Bill Cosby didn't hang himself.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not
Because he's
if
now-
he dies soon, he didn't do it.
And the interesting thing is you saw him when he was going to court, and he was so feeble and he's almost blind and he needed help to walk. And now he's talking about going back to make appearances at comedy clubs. I'm like, okay,
So-
buddy,
Yeah.
they didn't say you were innocent.
Yeah,
Pump the brakes. That
and
ain't gonna happen.
And I think what's going to happen though is we're going to find out that Bill Cosby was a handler because he had the reputation he did, and everyone thought he was a good guy. He was the perfect wolf in sheep's
wolf's-
clothes, right? Am I saying
wolf
that
in
right?
sheep's
Wolf-
clothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the perfect handler to get people. I mean, you really think he drugged and raped all those women by himself? No. I bet you $1 million. It was a bunch of parties and there was a whole bunch of people involved.
I'm sure, yeah.
Right? And so
But
we're
everybody
going to
was
find out.
They let down their guard because Bill Cosby's here.
Yeah, they're going to
America's
find
dad,
out he was
right?
a handler.
Yeah. This is interesting.
It is.
stuff.
It
And
is interesting.
all of that stuff. We just tied all of that stuff
Yeah,
together.
so hallelujah, it's all being exposed.
Yeah,
and the
that's
good
true.
news is that I just want to say, like, for the people that feel like they don't fit into this world and that it's very lonely right now, just keep going.
Yes.
Because you came here to destroy what's not working. We're seeing it fall. It is working. Our mission is working. And what is on the other side of this is going to be literally Eden and heaven and 5D, and it's coming. So just keep going.
Perfect.
There you go.
That was an intense day.
Wow.
First day back after a long weekend.
Wow.
Holy cow.
RhiannaMays.com.
That's right.
If you need a Reiki session after all that.
After all that, my goodness, that's a lot. But we touched on a lot of stuff
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
We did.
All right.
Well,
I
thank
heard
you
that
guys.
music.
It
I'm
was the
sorry.
wrong one.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the wrong thing. I started off with a dry hump and we ended with one. So I'll get all my files in a group here.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.